Hi friends, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have my first design team project for the Not2Shabby shop, and I also have a coupon code for you guys if you want to go shop over there. The coupon code is KW10 if you want to save 10% off of your order. So today I have a fun project for you, and it's kind of like a fun discovery on my part. So what we're going to do is start off with a piece of watercolor cardstock, as well as some of this Glad press and seal. You can do really fun projects with press and seal. Obviously, it's not just for the kitchen. I've seen a lot of crafters use the press and seal mainly for die cut placement, using the press and seal to put over their die cuts, especially if they have a cluster of them, and then use the press and seal to press on top of them to help them place all of their die cuts down in one, at one time. So that's fun too, but I also have a fun technique that I'm going to show you where you can actually do the ink smooshing technique, but use press and seal and also get a bit of texture as well as you're doing this. So I've just cut down a piece of this press and seal in a couple of strips, and I'm taking some Distress Oxide inks and squeeze lemonade first. And I'm just going to press this onto my watercolor cardstock, and you want to put the sticky side down. I didn't do it on this one, but the next go round that I'm going to be doing, you want to make sure that you're putting the sticky side down because it has the most texture, I find, on that side. As well, it will help you, obviously, it will stick to your cardstock or whatever paper that you're using a lot better. So I've got a first, I guess, lay down of the color, and I'm going to go in with another piece here using the same ink, and this does get a little messy, so if you don't like getting inky, I guess you could use some gloves or something, but just note that this does get a little bit of inky all over your surface. So you can see how this really does cover the entire surface really well, and I know you can't really see it at the moment, but once I am done with this panel, I will hold this up closer to the camera, and you will see all that wonderful texture that press and seal leaves behind onto your cardstock. I purposely am using the smooth side of my watercolor cardstock for this technique because I didn't want the texture of the watercolor cardstock to compete with what I was doing here today. So just make sure that if you use watercolor cardstock that you are using a smooth side. If you do have a smooth side, use it if you're going to be using this press and seal. That's where you get your most texture. So now I'm going to go in with another color. This is the Twisted Citron, and I'm lightly tapping the second color on, and it just kind of adds a little bit more texture and more definition to my background. And it really does look like I'm doing the ink smooshing technique, but I'm not using any water whatsoever. That's what's so fun about this, is that it still get inky, but you don't have to use water. And it does look like you've done a watercolor background, but you see all that dotted texture. It's so fun. So now what I'm going to do is take these backgrounds. I will show you the other background that I did here in just a moment with some other colors. I'm going to take the stamp set from Sunny Studio and create some popsicles, and you can really see the texture left behind on these backgrounds. I went ahead and die cut them off camera with a stitched rectangle die just to give it a little bit of a finished edge. Now I'm going to take this popsicle die, and I die cut out 2 pieces of just plain white cardstock. And now we're going to stamp down some popsicles both in like purples and orangey colors. And later on I will decide to go ahead and do a pink one as well. But on camera you will see that I'm going to stamp out the purple one as well as the orange one. And I love these little stamp layer sets from Sunny Studio. They're so fun, and they make it so easy to line up as well. So if you've never tried stamp layering and have wanted to, I would give these ones from the Sunny Studio a try, because they are really easy to line up and they're very forgiving. And I wanted to do this with an acrylic block too, and not necessarily a stamping tool, because I wanted to show you that you can do this just by lining up the stamps, and you can get a good placement every time just using your acrylic block. So now I'm going to stamp down. I kind of saved you from seeing my head as I was lining up these stamps, but I got all of these stamped down, and you can see the great dimension that you get with the 2 layers. So now I'm going to stamp down the little brown stick part of the popsicle. I'm going to use, there's actually 2 parts of the popsicle stick, but I'm just going to stamp down the solid area on these popsicles today. I just decided just to leave just as is with the one layer. So I'm using dough ink from Lawn Fawn. All the inks that I am using today are from Lawn Fawn. And they're really forgiving inks, and they've got lots of great colors. And I thought it was really good for these backgrounds. So this is when I decided to go ahead and off camera do a pink version of my popsicle, because the way I was doing these configurations, they weren't going the way I wanted them to. So I went ahead and did a pink one for the yellow and pink background. And I kept the orange one and purple popsicles and put them together on this green and kind of like a citrusy, it's what I'm going to call it, background. So I stamped down the sentiment, wishing you the coolest birthday, in black ink. And then now I'm going to go ahead and adhere my popsicles strictly down onto my background. Just going to take a regular tape runner and put down this first popsicle, kind of at an angle. And then I'm going to take some foam adhesive and pop up my second popsicle onto my card just to give it some added dimension. And it's also going to, pop up that one, and it gives it just a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And so all I did now is just add this to a white card base. Both of my cards today will be on white card bases. I love using white card bases primarily for my cards. So the next card, I just cut out a vellum circle. I've got a vellum circle cut out from a circle die. And I'm just going to stamp this sentiment down and emboss it with some white embossing powder. Then I'm going to take my popsicle stick and add it to the vellum. And what's so great about vellum, especially using die cuts like this, you can put your adhesive strictly down onto your die cut and then turn it over on the back and then put that same adhesive where you put your die cut, and it camouflages where you put the adhesive, and you won't see it as much through, obviously, the vellum that way. I really do like using that trick with vellum because it's so tricky to add it to your projects sometimes. And again, I just added this to a white card base and then put that straight down with some liquid adhesive. And then I just added some just minor detail touches to the card with some shimmer and some glossy accents to add some glossiness to the popsicle sticks. So I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial today, and I hope you give this technique a try. If you do, I'd love to see your projects, so please tag me on social media. Otherwise, I will catch you guys on my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video.